While base R can allow us to do a number of things just natively, there are some times that we're going to want to install and or call what are called packages. These are still open source and they're add-on functions to base R. As an example, what I'll show you in the next couple of videos is to read in an Excel file. I will use a package to be able to do that. It's called the Read Excel. To install a package, we are going to use the install.packages function, and that's what this is right here. And you only have to install a package one time on any given machine. So once I install a package on my Office desktop, I don't have to reinstall it, but if I switch to my personal laptop, I do need to install it the first time I try to use it. Or if I'm using a computer lab computer or my neighbor's computer, I would have to install it that first time. So as an example, package, let's maybe install ggplot. I believe it's called ggplot2. Notice how I have quotation marks around my package name. That's important. We need to have the quotation marks for it to recognize that, hey, I'd like to install this package. Once you've typed your package name, you are going to run that line of code. I'm going to hit Control Enter, and I already have ggplot installed. And so it's asking me here, do I want to restart R? Yes, that's fine. Go ahead. And sometimes it'll ask you that depending on the package, and sometimes it won't. And so it, restarted my R session over here, and it's installed my package. Just because a package is installed doesn't mean that it's necessarily available to your R environment immediately. What you also have to do is call the package. Let R know, hey, I'd like to use this package that I have installed on my machine. The way that you do that is through a library function. So my R session is still trying to consider its life options and back itself up. But library, and then it tries to be helpful, and it's like, oh, hey, look, here's a lot of packages that it seems you have installed. Here, you do not have to have your quotation marks around the package. You can if you want. It works just the same. That's one of those weird ones. And so I'm going to have library, call this ggplot2, and run that line of code and say, hey, I would like to please use that package. Neither of these is really going to show up anything over here. It's not going to show a lot in your console. Depending on the package you install, you might see a whole bunch of gobbledygook printout down here in your console. It is completely safe to ignore that. It's just R doing its thing. And so now that I've installed I've installed it up here, I've called it here, and then I can use it. So if I were to create a data visualization using ggplot, then I am good to go. Again, just highlighting, you only have to install it once on any given machine. However, you do have to call it only once per script file, but you do have to call it each time you want to use it, like in a new script file. So if I were to, open up a new script here and decide I wanted to use ggplot in this one, I would have to recall it with library ggplot, like that. What I personally like to do is have all my library calls up at the very top, just so I can see what I'm working with, and then my syntax down here below.